everybody. You're welcome to the society program. I want to welcome you all. This is the society program. We talk about things that concern us as a society. So you can ride with me as we have a conversation. I hope you're doing your best. It's been a busy week my side. I've been actually trying to make time for everything I like to do. It's been a busy week and busy week with snow and rains. That makes it even harder. Because sometimes you don't do what you're supposed to do in time because of the weather conditions, but I'm glad that I can catch up with you right now as I ride home. Good thing I'm riding home, so I'm not in any rush, but I'm glad to be able to share and speak with you. And today I want us to talk about wisdom. Wisdom. What is wisdom? Why do we need wisdom, and where do we apply wisdom? I realize that so many things, or so many times, we do things and those things portray how much wisdom we applied. You understand? We do things and those things reveal how smart we can be, or we are, or how dumb we are. So the opposite of being smart is being dumb. That is what an American will say to where I am. He was a leader, he was a king, he was a businessman, he was a socialite. Everything about him reveals the kind of a person he was. But I think it is chapter 3 where, I think chapter 3 or 5, where he says that wisdom is a principal thing. Wisdom is a principal thing, and he says that in all thy getting, get wisdom. In all thy getting, in everything you want to get in this life, he said, get wisdom. And he said that even if it costs you all you have, can you imagine that? That even if wisdom costs you everything you have, he says, sell everything you have and buy it. So that is the value he attached to wisdom. And I find that profound, that we go through life and make so many that we would call dumb mistakes. Dumb mistakes because you were not smart enough to make the right choice, or to have a right judgment, or to apply wisdom. Certain things we would even save ourselves a lot of time and money if we only have wisdom to apply. So certain things you need to apply wisdom, and that's all. What am I saying? I'm driving and I can't read your conversation, but I'm talking about wisdom. I'm talking about wisdom, Emmanuel. Grace, I'm good. How are you? I'm talking about wisdom, and you realize people don't even attach value on wisdom. Once you start talking about that, people want to listen to funny jokes, stupid information, like anything that doesn't make sense. People want that. But anything that makes sense, that has some sense in it or wisdom in it, it will attract a few people. And yet, the wise man ever lived said and recommended that wisdom is a principal thing, and in all thy getting, get wisdom. And he said, even if it costs you everything you have, please buy it. So that means you can buy yourself wisdom. You can invest in things that make you smarter. This is a generation of smart people. You get to be smart to survive this century. This decade of the next 10 years. If you keep dumb, it's gonna cost you all you have. If you don't use your wisdom, it's gonna cost you all you have. We are in a time where you cannot afford to be slow in your thinking and in your acquiring wisdom. And I don't know how you interpret wisdom. I was telling somebody, we were discussing with somebody, and there's a certain guy, and the guy said, oh, that guy is wise. I said, no, that guy is not just wise, but he's smart street. They call it street smart. So mugezi smart, street smart. And I told this guy that you watch that guy, he's street smart, but he doesn't have wisdom. So because he doesn't have wisdom, he doesn't play his cards right, and eventually he's going to crash soon or later. Watch him, he will crash and he will lose everything that he has achieved. And I've seen that happen to so many people, that they act smart but they are not wise. So there is this difference between being smart and acting smart, but there is also wisdom. Wisdom, like King Solomon said, that it's a principal thing. Being smart is good for your survival, but wisdom is great for your continuity, for preservation. Wisdom alone can preserve you, can preserve what you already have. Being smart can get you what you don't have, but wisdom can preserve what you already have. So many people, especially us Africans, oh my, we don't look for wisdom. You can make a smart decision, but does not mean that it is it's a wise decision that you have made. So you have to separate the two. You can make a wise decision and it doesn't look smart. But again, a smart person will not make sense of your wise decisions. But today I talk about smart. You got to be smart enough for yourself, because I told you that smartness will bring you things, but that only wisdom can preserve. I don't know how to break that. You can be smart and get a common. By the way, wisdom is not common to many people because they don't know that they need it. They don't know. And wisdom comes with information, comes with what you know. Once you know, once you have information and you're ready to apply it appropriately, that is wisdom. But people, even when they get information and makes them smarter, it's hard for them to become wiser. Check it out. So 2020, you better be wiser than just being smart. Huh? Hi Richard, how are you, my dear friend? Otulina. Ah, wow, good one. I can't read the comments properly because it's free when I know always. You know how to break and elaborate. I like smart guys like you. Lwakuba najjaleeti nga bakututte naye nandibadde nakwesooka because you know how to elaborate. Tebampulira ne bankwata ettaayi nno. But anyway, what I'm talking about is you. A low speed, and then I will be able to concentrate. So many people, I think I talked about this, die young because they are, I hate to use the word stupid. They are not wise. You got to be wise. You get to know what to do. You get to get the information and apply it. Otherwise, you're not going to think that you're going to live like you're still living in the 90s. We are in 2020. You cannot be living like you are in the 90s. You cannot. Oh no. You cannot be applying what you did in the 90s and you think it's gonna work. You're right, my dear. Prayers cannot defeat the devil unless you have wisdom. Talk about it. Now I can live. Wisdom is the ability to use your experience and knowledge I think amagezi muliro bwegakugwako gasaba wa mulirwana, meaning that you cannot get short of wisdom. If you think you are short of wisdom, you have to reach out to your neighbor and ask them what you can do before you perish. People died before their time because they cannot reach out for wisdom. And them that have wisdom, some of them or most of them are so mean. And others who are generous, the ones that need wisdom, are so hesitant to pick it up or to ask for it. Your life would be easier and in a better place if you were wiser than that. Actually, you are where you were because of the amount of brains you carry. Ebitala byalo byagundi kwanga kibadde kya red, but I did not pay attention. Bya camera. Good thing it wasn't a freeway that I could speed. Thank you, Lord. That I make will portray wisdom, and I have to pray and I have to ask for that, because sometimes I don't know if I'm taking a wise move or not. Huh? I go to God. Recently I had gone to God and I told God, Mukama, I've crashed so many times. Tomeza. Yeah? Damage. But please, God, give me wisdom so that I can operate in a supernatural wisdom. I can operate in wisdom that surpasses human understanding. That when you operate with that level of wisdom, sometimes people can't understand you. They can search for how you get where you have gotten, or how you do what you do, and they can't, because you use wisdom that is not commonly found anywhere. So remember one thing: if you want to forget everything else, that being smart can get you to a place, but wisdom will preserve you in that place. Wisdom will sustain you in that place. So many people have been smart. And to me, when I got that, I know that is a relief of a bill. But when I got that, I realized that is the time for me to work even more, work even harder. That by the time the grace of living there expires, I will be in a better place even to own a home for myself. You know what I mean? I just given you that as an example. That it takes wisdom, and you don't take anything for granted. It takes wisdom to live in harmony with your better neighbors, and they still respect you and they still appreciate that you are their neighbor. It takes wisdom, and you have to know how to behave. It takes wisdom to learn how to behave yourself, to know when to speak and what not to speak, to know what to say and what not to say, to know when to speak and when to shut up, to know who to talk to when. It's wisdom. You don't bite. You don't just... You're not just smart, but you're wise. When you open your mouth, it's very... It takes wisdom to keep a marriage together. It takes wisdom to raise children right. Yeah, if you are dumb, you can't give what you don't have. You say, oh, abana bagundi bagezi nnyo because the person raised them yali mugezi. So they do not put in them what they don't have. That's why I say be careful who you marry, who you have children with, because you might have empty boxes. Maybe domola. Ngabana bazibu obateka mu school fees zonna zifa bufi. It takes wisdom to sustain a marriage. It takes wisdom to sustain a business. That's why they tell you that there is no rich fool or dumb person who's rich. Being rich, I told you that it is, you can be smart and get money, but having money for a given period of time does not necessarily make you a rich person. But being able to sustain your money, it takes wisdom. Because there are so many people who could get money, and all of a sudden they are broke because they were waking up and getting up is two different things. But when I wake up, before I get up, I take time to think and meditate. And most of the time, when I'm thinking about something after I've rested my brain, some wisdom comes to me. And I'm this one person who acts upon something right away. When wisdom comes to me in my head and says, about that situation, you can do ABCD. And most of the time, it turns out to be excellent. I'm not saying that I'm the most wise person, but I know the damn things I've done in this world, in my life, because I did not apply wisdom, and they have costed me a lot. When you lack wisdom, it's gonna cost you a lot of what you were and what you have. So you got to do wisdom. You got to look for wisdom. You got to buy it if you need to buy it. Why do you think King Solomon, of all the things, when God told him that wise, not just smart. Kugami, you can be smart and smartness will get you something, but to sustain it, it's gonna take wisdom. So King Solomon went to God and said, God, of all the things that I want, the main thing I want in my life is wisdom. How many times do you go to God to ask for wisdom? And do you even know how much wisdom can bring in your life? How much wisdom can change in your life? Do you even ever go to God besides asking? They used to train us this. I'm sorry, I grew up in church, to pray for handouts. God is not there to give us handouts, to give us money for rent, to give us money to pay our bills. God wants to provide us with a principal thing that can change our lives and forever. Wisdom can change your life forever. Wisdom can bring you things that are going to sustain you forever. I'm telling you, it takes wisdom. I'm gonna give you a story of Esther. Esther in the Bible was a queen, and to realize or to hear that this is what, maybe, let's say, in that sense, maybe the Prime Minister is planning to do to our tribe or to our group of people. She would just go and start, fighting battles with the Prime Minister who has come on. She would just use her office to show that she's also a Jew. She would just use her smartness, her beauty, to fight that battle. But she knew that this is a battle that only wisdom can win. And wisdom, I have to get it from God. Much as I have these positions and I have this opportunity, much as I'm the wife to the king, I cannot just go to the king and give him good sex and start telling him to fight my battles. No. She said to her people that as much as I'm the queen, I need wisdom to do this. She went she told her people that girl power. You think that if you go and have sex with a man, then you can do everything you want. And at the end of that day, you realize that you lost the battle. Even as you have given in everything stupid you can. This is a tough conversation, not for everybody. This girl thought, I need wisdom. And I will ask you to pray. And as we fast, they prayed and fasted for 3 days and 3 nights. And wisdom told her that you don't want to start showing that you hate this man, that you are enemies with this man. You're gonna pretend and behave like nothing has happened. And that's what she did. And then after she knew that she's the queen, and she threw a party. And who doesn't want to come to the party? These guys had all the hatred about the Jews. They were alcoholic. The Bible says she threw a party and she cooked and she invited all of them, including Haman, the enemy of the Jews. And guess what? I don't think she even touched alcohol. She knew what she was doing because she had wisdom. And she was a young girl. Will use her own hands to break her own house. She gave it time and she prayed and she planned. She planned a dinner and everybody was drinking. The king with all his people and whoever, the king, the prime ministers, the dignitaries were all on that dinner. And the king, after that, the king was pleased. Because who doesn't want parties? Who doesn't want food and dinners? And everybody gets to that, never president, even if it's a president, everybody gets to that place where, you know, They are excited. And the king was excited and said, Queen Esther, ask anything you want right now. She was not after doing sex or what. No, she didn't use her girl power. She used her head. And she said, ask for anything that you want and I will give it to you. And she said, it's not about what I want. It's about who I am. She said to the king that, you see, king, and excited, he said, who said that? Sometimes I like drunk kings. I said, who said that? He said, it's actually your best friend, or the prime minister said that, and said he's gonna hang all the Jews. And the king, out of the excitement, the happiness, said, that won't happen. Instead, let him die on that chitindiro, I don't know how to call it, that he had set to hang the Jews. He will be the one to die on it. And the king's order is the king's order. When it is ordered by the king, it's just the subjects who are always there to put in action whatever the king orders right away. And guess what happened? Haman was hanged on the same chitindiro that he wanted to hang the Jews. And guess what? What did all that? That is called wisdom. Was able to save the entire community of the Jews. So in your position of leadership, how much wisdom do you use? When people depends on where you are, what level you're at. We know that most of the people get smart and they play smart and they get positions. But some of you, if not most of you, cannot sustain your positions because when you got smart, you did not get wiser. You got smart, but you're not wise. So you got to lose your parliamentary seat very soon. I'm so sorry to tell you the honest truth. So, Antusewaka. Wisdom is a principal thing. In all thy getting, get wisdom. Get wisdom. You need wisdom. You need wisdom. Tell your neighbor you need wisdom. Have you tried? Have you applied some wisdom? I want to be a wise girl like those girls. And wisdom, I want wisdom to preserve my generation. Yeah, the only thing we are short of is wisdom. We have all the leaders that are carrying empty heads. You know? Yeah, they are carrying empty heads to office and they bring empty heads back home. Check it out. So King Solomon asked for wisdom, and wisdom he was granted, and he was able to become as wealthy as he is, as he was, and as famous as he was, and whatever he became, it was on account of wisdom, because he knew that if I carry my father's throne and I don't have wisdom, I'm gonna lose everything. You have whatever you have, but if you lack wisdom, you're gonna lose it, like it or not. Soon or later, you go back to square zero. You go back to nothing. I told your friend was telling me a guy who we all cherished and admired. In his days, he was driving V8s, sleeping in those posh apartments in Muyenga. But when he got smart to get there, he did not have wisdom to establish his sustainability. And this guy was telling me that guy, you can't even believe, he can't even educate his children. What did he do when he got smart to get where he was? He didn't apply wisdom. Wisdom will tell you that you need to build a sustainability. How are you going to sustain yourself? It takes wisdom to keep yourself in power. Which sekera. Excuse me. So, in all thy getting, get wisdom. I want to bring the program to the close. Thank you for being here, all of you. Share the video and let many people think. I've given you homework to think about this weekend. Let many people come to know about this video and share them. Inbox somebody you care about. Inbox the video and let people know that yes, we are doing whatever we are doing. We are working hard to get ourselves better. But if we are not getting wiser, if we are not wise and make wise decisions, we can easily lose everything that we got. So God bless you. Have a great weekend and bye-bye.